Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. I'm going to tell you a tale of diversions and smokescreens and why I think certain things about the future of the cryptocurrency space. This is an article from Forbes called "A Blow to Bitcoin as Coinbase CEO Makes a Stark Warning." I'm going to read through it and then I am going to tell you what I think, as I normally do. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency adoption rates around the world are growing, but not quickly enough to prevent the Bitcoin price from falling. And now the chief executive of San Francisco-based Coinbase, one of the world's largest cryptocurrency exchanges, has warned that widespread mass Bitcoin adoption for payments is going to be a long time coming. The Bitcoin price is currently just over $6,000 after falling below the psychological barrier yesterday for the second time this year. The Bitcoin price is down some 70% from its highs at the end of last year, and many of the newer cryptocurrencies that have been created in the last few years have all but been wiped out. This is the price graph that they have. He said, "I think it will take quite some time before you can cross the street to Starbucks in the United States and pay with crypto." This was said by Brian Armstrong. He warned in an interview with Bloomberg at the Bloomberg Players Technology Summit in San Francisco. Starbucks was recently forced to roll back from reports it is working with Microsoft and New York's stock exchange owner Intercontinental Exchange, or ICE, on a new digital platform that will allow its customers to use Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as its outlets. Cryptocurrencies will not be able to pay for frappuccinos with Bitcoin, a Starbucks spokesperson said after it was announced the coffee chain was involved with a new cryptocurrency venture called Bakkt, B-A-K-K-T. Armstrong estimated that only about 10% of cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, are used in real life, in games, and other purchases online. It has been suggested that in terms of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency adoption, we are at some point in a time as the internet was in 1994. Worryingly, that could mean we still have the Bitcoin equivalent of the dot-com bubble to look forward to, though the 2018 route could be just that. They have a map. Typically, when you listen to podcasts or other people, when you read articles, one of the main things that people like to talk about is where are we now compared to, let's say, we started in 1993 when the internet slowly started picking up, and then we had Windows 95, which was kind of the first beginning of the mainstream of the internet, what have you, where people were able to have PCs in their houses. So people always ask, whatever podcast you listen to, whatever article you read, you may find some type of information like this where they always ask, where do you think we are in terms of the internet's growth? They believe that at some point crypto will become incredibly large, but they think that as this technology is still very new, that we are still at the very, very beginning of it, and therefore there's something catastrophic that is going to happen in the price. And this is why we keep hearing a lot about the altcoin apocalypse, or altcoin apocalypse, whatever you want to call it, where as he stated, as only 10% of cryptocurrencies are being used, it's expected that 90% of the market will at some point will be completely just washed away. Armstrong said, "This technology is going through a series of bubbles and corrections, and each time it does that, it's at a new plateau. People's expectations are all over the map, but real-world adoption has been going up," end quote. While this slow pace of adoption means that there are still billions of people around the world who will eventually, or could eventually, buy into Bitcoin, as referenced in a recent survey, it is also likely to mean short-term price pain for investors who have recently bought in. Elsewhere, regulation has been an issue for Bitcoin and crypto, and Armstrong warned that there will be barriers in certain places where governments want to discourage the use of Bitcoin, such as Iran, which has banned people and banks from exchanging digital currencies. This has happened a couple of places. It hasn't happened in... It's happened in countries where regimes are a bit tighter on their restrictions. I'll put it that way. I think we have like news from like 2 or 3 countries or something like that where they said that it's illegal to touch crypto. Don't do it. No one can buy, sell it, or own it. This hasn't really been in the news because of the countries that this news has been coming from. He said, most places in the free world are adopting this technology. They rightly want to protect consumers, though. There are going to be some countries in the world, just like the internet, where Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are restricted. That is going to be incredibly true and also very sad for a lot of people. However, Armstrong is confident that in economies going through turmoil, such as Venezuela and to a lesser extent Turkey, which was in the news sometime early this week, if you Google and or YouTube Turkey, US, and have it around like the last week, the value of the Turkish, I think it's called the lira, is their currency, completely fell apart in comparison to the US dollar after things were going on between the US president and the country of Turkey. Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies have their strongest use case, he said, in countries like this. He said, I'm bullish on countries that are going through economic crisis. Over the next 3 to 5 years, where everyone has the internet and a smartphone, you could see people adopting Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as an alternative. Coinbase helped customers trade 150 million. I think that's really important. It's not super important. When I read news like this, how do I say this? What happens in life is a lot of time people read the articles and things like that, or just the title of the articles, and they kind of draw their own conclusion. The fact that this is coming from Forbes, and the fact that over the past 2 or 3 weeks, what have you, maybe a bit more, we've seen a lot of articles talking about the end of Bitcoin, the end of Ethereum, the end of XRP. This coin has dropped by this much. This is going to happen. This is going to be a death blow to this. This is going to be a major problem. Talking with my friend last night, the friend who I always talk about. I have other friends, but I usually talk to this one about crypto. And we were talking about the decline in prices, the infrastructure of the market, and how things were going to pan out. And this article, first of all, caught me off guard because I was like, why would they have an article like that? And then I came to realize there are also a lot of other articles as well, and they talk about the mainstream adoption of crypto and where crypto is going, and how they think, or the people who write these articles, or the institutions, or whoever is pushing this news out there, that crypto will not go mainstream for at least another 5 years. And it took me a couple of seconds, and then it hit me really hard, and all at once, it kind of completely made sense. I don't think crypto is going to go mainstream for a while, and I'm sure a lot of people are already sucking their teeth, but that's not what I mean. Mainstream, I mean, you will probably not be able to go into a store and buy a piece of candy with Bitcoin anytime soon. I don't think at any point in the near future, within the next 3 years, that you probably be able to go into any type of whatever and buy an airline ticket with XRP. What I am talking about is I think crypto has reached a point of no return where crypto is going to be one of the largest things on the planet, but normal people won't have access to it and won't want to have access to it. Before I got heavily into crypto, I told you guys many times before, I was into stocks and bonds and mutual funds and stuff like that. And I noticed that many times after I had, you make a bit of profit depending on how the market is. And I would tell people exactly how the stock market was and how I was making, okay returns with this mutual fund, and this was really well, and this was so-and-so. If you look at a lot of my earlier videos, I was talking about them as well. And I kind of segued to crypto because crypto is far more interesting. The point is that after me telling so many people for so long how great stocks and bonds and mutual funds were, and how you could build wealth and how you could do this with them, I think maybe one person listened to me. And that was out of around 200 people who I told, not viewers and or listeners, but actual friends and family, people I met along the way. No one really listened because I think they thought that stocks were a fraud, that this was fake, that this was completely fake. The point is, if you may have noticed, as the prices are continuously jumping up and down or slamming down from all-time highs, a lot of people have been shaken out of the market, and I don't think these people are going to return. I think a small portion of them are going to eventually FOMO back into the market. But I think for the majority of people, crypto will be something that only the rich are going to have. And what I mean by that is, I don't think we're going to see anything in the near future where crypto is mainstream, where you can buy it, you can do it in a store, you can buy a beer or whatever people buy inside of stores. But I think, how do I put it? If you guys remember sometime last year, I told everyone I had been into Bitcoin since the price was around $200, and I told people about it every breath I could possibly do it. Everyone who I met, I made sure to mention Bitcoin. They all laughed. By the time Bitcoin hit around $5,000, people were still a little skeptical. You know, what's going on with the prices? By the time Bitcoin hit $10,000, everyone was into it. Everyone wanted to know what a Bitcoin was. How could I get a fraction of a Bitcoin? How do I get a whole Bitcoin? Why is the Bitcoin price so high? Why can I not have it? But, you know, so before, people telling me, why didn't you tell me about it before? I definitely wanted to get into it, what have you. By the time Bitcoin hit $20,000, this is kind of when it, you know, hit this new euphoric level. Prices have completely slammed down. A lot of the normal retail investors have completely lost faith. I think, myself, what we were talking about last night, I think crypto is going to get to a point where it is only held by the wealthy. And I think that crypto won't become mainstream until the world leaders want it to become mainstream. And I am going to try and explain myself as best as possible. I know it sounds a bit odd. There's a reason why normal people aren't into stocks, bonds, and mutual funds, even after you have Warren Buffett talking about how he made billions, or even people trading penny stocks have made even 100,000 a year just from trading penny stocks. Not, you know, even talking about the people who make 1.5 million, maybe 3 million trading penny stocks and or other stocks and or bonds or mutual funds, what have you. It's kind of like this elite club where only the very rich will make it. I think that the way that things are going now, and I'm going to show you the other tabs in a second, none of this is random. None of this is uncoordinated. This is all happening at the exact same time for a reason. Told you guys before, and I hope you realize this by now, all the rich people know each other. This is not happening because, you know, somebody woke up and they thought this sounded like a good idea. Crypto is not going anywhere. And I mean, we are going to live in a world in a couple of years where the people who have gotten into crypto early, who have managed to stay, who have not sold or will not sell when prices hit where they were before in December, and they're going to be rewarded the same exact way that people who got into Amazon very early held onto their stock and or Apple. Apple was also seen as, I don't know how old many of you are, but I remember in the early 90s, if you were holding onto Apple stock, you were laughed at. It was one of the most ridiculous things to hold on to. They said Apple was dead. Amazon has been called dead many times. Google has been written many obituaries about it, talking about how dead that it is. The point is, when it comes down to all of this, when we see these things and we see people talking about a warning or people talking about getting out of this coin or don't touch this, don't do that, Bitcoin is rat poison, Bitcoin is this. I'm going to show you some of the tabs, and it's not, I know that a lot of people in or watching the video are English speakers. You may be from the States. Sometimes you may only get news that may be state-centric. I don't know if I can really say that. And that you may, I mean, everyone's kind of guilty of this depending on what country that you're in. You tend to focus on the news that is permeating in your space. So if you are in one country, you're probably not too concerned with what's happening in another country. We are entering a time where infrastructure is being built up for the wealthiest. And I told you guys this before. I think crypto is no longer for us. That is me, you, and I. These are, you know, the normal people. I think the fact that we've gotten into crypto now and a lot of people are hodling, if you want to say that, or holding is something very significant. And I just kind of get the impact of what I'm talking about here. Crypto is not going away, and this is, you'll kind of see. I'm just going to go through all of the, I'm not going to read through all of them. The Jamaican Stock Exchange is going to be trading crypto in 2018. Another major Swiss bank begins accepting cryptocurrency assets. This is going to be a worldwide trip. This is the first Swiss bank called Baumann. They will have a cryptocurrency, service cryptocurrency firms, removing a major industry pain point. I think they're also going to be making their own crypto exchange. Germany's second largest or biggest stock exchange launches crypto trading of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Ripple. Japan's largest, one of the largest banks in the world, Japan's SBI crypto exchange adds two major cryptocurrencies. They added XRP and then they added Ethereum and Bitcoin. Tax-free profits on Bitcoin or crypto trading in Portugal. The owner of the New York Stock Exchange is working on a Bitcoin trading platform. Right here, I found this article on Fortune. It said at a meeting with the couple in the plush bond room at the New York Stock Exchange, Sprecher, who's one of the people who's behind all of this, stressed that Loeffler has been a collaborator in charting ICE's next big move. Kelly and I brainstormed for 5 years to find a strategy for digital currencies. I think when a lot of people think about crypto, they don't I told you guys, this is not random. Rich people know how to control markets, and I don't think it's all going to be that doom and gloom. I think when they get in, I think they're going to completely when I think they're already in, I think they're going to continue pushing the prices down, but when prices go up, Bitcoin is going to be unattainable for normal people. The same with Ethereum and a bunch of other coins. And I don't think this is happening randomly, not at all. The same thing with the owner of the New York Stock Exchange saying Bitcoin could be the first worldwide currency. That's not random. Korean banks held $1.79 billion in crypto during the 2017 bull run. I'm not going to read through the article, but it says that the banks actually held more money than normal investors in the country. They've been collecting crypto for the last couple of years in anticipation of all of these events. I'm going to say probably around 2015, maybe even early 2016, all of these banks got together. You know, when we have news about banks getting together or corporations or industries, and they talk about the world financial trends and markets and stuff like that, and we have news about it, these aren't the only things that they're holding. They get together often. These people, once again, know each other. They went to the same schools together. And what it comes down to is they've been talking about this for quite some time. When I told you we had news at the beginning of the year that I thought that a couple of banks were probably mining cryptocurrencies, a lot of people laughed at me in the comment section. They said that doesn't make any sense. Why would banks want to touch crypto? Because Bitcoin is anti this and anti-establishment and stuff like that. You now understand banks are in love with Bitcoin. I know a lot of people talk about there's a certain coin that they call a bankster coin. Please understand, there's only, and I don't mean this in a negative way, I'm not talking down to people, I mean this in the adoption way. There is only one major bankster coin, and XRP is not it. This is all happening because of Bitcoin. All of these people have been buying Bitcoin over the counter, and this is why do you think when you look at the over-the-counter charts for Coinbase and all these other places, while they have $100 million sales over the course of a couple of weeks, they're not buying the 251st coin. They're definitely buying into the top of the market. $14.5 billion South African investment firm to launch their own crypto exchange. This one is by Fortune as well, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It says it's taken time, but the African crypto revolution is about to get started. There's something happening in Africa where, especially Cardano and a number of other coins, they're trying to get into the market. It's apparently very difficult to be able to actually get into, this is Forbes, sorry, to be able to get into the cryptocurrency or to get cryptocurrency in general in a large part of Africa. So the fact that this is also happening is going to be very, very big. It's firmly believed that Africa and South America will be the places for people to kind of get the ball rolling when it comes to crypto adoption, because a lot of people in these countries now have access to smartphones. Even if they are in the countries that may not be as rich as their neighbors, they definitely have access to all of these. I think by the year 2022, it's expected that another 2 billion people on the planet will have access to cryptocurrencies as well, or the internet and cryptocurrencies. And this is why the entire news about Ripple entering the Indian market is also very significant, because India is going to probably be one of the world leaders in the next couple of years. On this same exact route, Barclays, who is a 300-year-old UK legacy bank, has filed cryptocurrency patents. And if you dig a bit deeper, you find out that it says Bitcoin exchange reveals deal with Barclays for UK transactions. The Bitcoin exchange that they are talking about is Coinbase. They signed a deal with Barclays, and this was sometime earlier this year. I think a lot of people don't understand exactly how big crypto is going to be. Don't let anyone fool you. Don't let your friends or family call you crazy. Don't let them point at the prices. I know someone who got into crypto, gosh, I can't remember when it was, and their family member made fun of them to no end. And then when Bitcoin hit around $15,000, they stopped making fun. And then the price of Bitcoin fell back down to where we are right now. And they still make fun of them incessantly. I think myself that we are going to have the final laugh. This is all coordinated. The prices going down are coordinated. The bigger hands are trying to get in. I don't think crypto is going to be mainstream like we thought for a very long time. I think crypto is going to be like the hedge funds of the world. When you look around for news as well, there are a lot of people in banking who are calling the infrastructure that's being built, they're calling it the stock market 2.0 for a reason. They've known that this is going to be, have known that this is going to happen for quite some time. When crypto does, the prices do continue to take off, I don't think we're going to have a downtrend for quite some time. It's predicted that the next bull market that we're going to have is probably going to last for anywhere from 12 to 18 months. I think crypto is going to go absolutely insane. When I talk, like, once again, talk about mainstream, when crypto does go mainstream and people are vying to own Bitcoin, I think it's when the other people will, how do I say this? Rich people tell you to do something when they've filled their pockets or they've filled their belly enough. They don't want other people knowing about it, and this is why we've had so much negative news over the past couple of months, because they're trying to get as much as they possibly can. I wouldn't be surprised if sometime relatively soon, over the next year, year and a half, we have documents and or people looking through the blockchain and the transactions and seeing exactly how much coinage has been passing back and forth. And then we come to realize, like I said before, I don't think there's that much Bitcoin actually flowing around out there. Estimates are anywhere between 2 to like 6 million Bitcoin are still floating around. I think it's a lot less. I think there's a lot less of a lot of coins going around, but I don't think we're going to have solid news on this for quite some time, especially as we've had a lot of the over-the-counter trading. I just thought I'd make this video. I don't want people to be discouraged by the cryptocurrency market or being in crypto or thinking that they're doing something wrong. As always, like I said, you know, I am just a man talking into a microphone. Please make sure to always do your own research. Crypto has a very bright future for it. The fact that multiple countries and banks and institutions around the world are creating their own crypto exchanges is not random. I think the volume that the volume and the prices that we got in 2017 was before all of this started, was before Jamaica was talking about their stock exchange is going to trade crypto, before Germany's second largest stock exchange is going to trade crypto. We're going to have such crazy volume flowing through these things, because when you have these institutions and stuff like that, or stock exchanges or major banks, other people who have used them before and have made wealth with them and have been using them for the past 30, 40, 50 years are going to trust them, and they're going to be dumping tons of money back into it, and people are going to be day trading with crypto back and forth. I think we're going to see some of the largest volumes in the entire world focusing around Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and XRP as we go into 2019. It's not me telling you to just buy and or focus on these coins, but I told you guys there's a reason why these coins are constantly being spoken about. It's not haphazard. It's not random. There's a reason why the people behind the New York Stock Exchange are talking about Bitcoin being the first worldwide cryptocurrency, and they're not talking about BAT or some other coin. That's not to say that BAT will not be used, but follow the money. And I mean follow the big money. Pay attention to where the big guys are putting their money. You may have gripes or you may hate XRP. You may not care for Litecoin compared to Bitcoin. You may care for Ethereum over Bitcoin. You may think that Bitcoin is the most superior thing in the entire world. The point is, pay attention when these large players are talking. When they're adding, SBI only has 3 cryptos on their exchange. It's Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. This is happening for a reason. These people all know each other. They're definitely talking to each other, and they're trying to figure out exactly how to fill their pockets. When it comes down to it, just to be completely realistic, as sad as it may sound, they don't care about us. They care about their legacies and their money and their pockets and how much money they're going to be making. And I told you guys before, we're going to have the world's first trillionaire and trillion-dollar companies and enterprises from crypto. And this is going to take the world by storm, and normal people will not figure this out until it is too expensive for them to even buy 0.01 Bitcoin. Hope you guys enjoyed. I definitely did. I hope you guys are having a great morning, afternoon, and or evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. Always follow the money. There's a reason why certain coins are being spoken about over other coins. There's a lot of money to be made, and if we enter a multi-trillion-dollar crypto world, which I definitely think that we are when we have stock exchanges talking about launching their own trading platforms, it is going to be a very good day if you have been holding on to your crypto. Thank you once again for watching and or listening. I do appreciate all the support, more than you guys could possibly begin to imagine. Thank you once again for everything, and I will talk to you all soon. See you.